gonna do my Smackdown review. Smackdown dripping off the air. I'm gonna do my Smackdown review. This will be like an hour and 30 minutes. My video is sponsored by JD from New York, Solomon the Sound Off, Fightful Wrestling, Just Alice, Omni Salcedo, Wrestling Inc., and No DQ. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes because we're gonna talk about SmackDown. We'll talk about the news and rumors. And holy moly, man, this is how SmackDown ended the show. Finally, Jacob Fatu made his debut to WWE after all these months. I think I think that I think that I think that this should have been happened. Or maybe they couldn't wait until Money Bank, but now we got Jacob Fatu. He looked great. He looked jacked. Crowd chanted, "Holy shit! Holy moly!" He came out after we had his poor man with Cody Rhodes and Sol Sikoa. Jacob Fatu came out, super kicked everyone. Man, look at this. Now we got 4 people in the bloodline. I can't wait for this. Uh, there's a lot of teasers and in this bloodline story. Everything that Paul Heyman said that Roman Reigns is not coming back. Yeah, so have a lot to talk about here. There's a lot to talk about here. Oh, come on. Okay, gonna have to skip it. Now, I'm gonna show you guys the other podcasters first. These are the other podcasts that I watch. So I'm gonna show them first before I can talk about the show.
Punk and Paul Heyman, CM Punk and the Bloodline, the little alliance there with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre attacking CM Punk, Logan Paul, LA Knight, and then the debut of Jacob Fatu. I mean, there is just a lot in here to talk about, Robin. It's pretty exciting to see where we're at right now with this particular week in WWE.
Yeah, I know, because, I mean, it's in contrast where it felt like the wheels were spinning a little bit, but all of a sudden, even the people who aren't around are actively involved, whether it's theoretically on Raw and what's going on with Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. And obviously, Roman Reigns here on SmackDown. Someone dropped that line. Roman not coming back. Much the ball came. Children, this is the word. I get used to that. So the heavies that aren't there feel like they have a presence. But it is amazing with star power. But starting to show off with CM Punk. The guy just has he has whatever it is that cannot be taught, right? Like whatever that thing is that can't be taught, CM Punk has in spades, and him and Drew McIntyre together. What a sequence that was! As good as the finish was, I think that shot with the door opening with McIntyre standing over CM Punk and then finally staring him into the arena with the blood coming out of his forehead might have been the hardest moment of the show.
It definitely was. Oh my god, I mean, there was just a lot. But let's go ahead and dive into these super chats. If you guys want to get your questions, your comments, your statements, your reactions, now is the time to do so. So let's go. First and foremost, as always, thank you so much to Sheldon Jackson for the 5. Like, yes, that is perfect. I feel like that is the end game that we want to see with The Rock being the one behind Solo Sikoa's bloodline. Now, unfortunately, the last couple of weeks we've sort of been talking about how the bloodline hasn't really been all that. And we even saw CM Punk kind of bury the bloodline today. But with the way that the show ended today with Jacob Fatu's presence and how strong that debut was, how are you feeling now about the version of the bloodline that we're seeing and The Rock still possibly being the master manipulator behind it?
Well, CM Punk just said what we were all feeling, right? I mean, it just told the truth. But I think it works, Denise, and I've always thought it was going to work when it came to the conclusion. It was just, the week by week episodic version of it with Solo Sikoa, who stronger, I think, the last couple of weeks, especially now that you got him involved with Cody, right? When he comes out and main event, usually shenanigans once that main event was announced. But I cannot stop thinking about a poster, right? Like a poster that has The Rock's face next to Solo Sikoa's face, next to Thomas Tonga's face, next to Jacob Buckley's face. And on the other side of the poster, you've got Roman Reigns' face, next to Jey Uso's face, next to Jimmy Uso's face, next to Sami Zayn's.
I love that visual, Robin. I'm seeing it all. I don't know why, but I see it in gold too. I see it in gold. We're all getting the visual right now.
Green for the money it'll make.
That's probably what Triple H and WWE see in money.
if they're all alive backstage, that's what happens. But I think once we started picking up the pace a little bit, it makes it much more interesting. And obviously, Jacob Fatu comes in and chef's kiss, right? Like brilliant booking of making him look as strong as he did, kicking everybody's ass, whether it's Randy Orton, whether it's Kevin Owens. And then when Cody put him over the top, I was like, no, don't ruin it, right? Cody can't get the best of him. But he did. He pulls him out, hits him with the modified rock bottom on the apron, and then puts him on the table. And that splash, that was a good splash.
The camera angle to that, Robin, it looks so far. You're thinking, is he actually going to make it? Like, is he actually going to hit it? And dude, not only did he hit it precisely in terms of distance, but the impact. It felt like thousands of tons of pounds just landed on Cody Rhodes, and that sort of drove the impact like so much harder. But let's just get right into it. We'll start off with Jacob Fatu and talk about basically what happened here. So it looked like at the end of the main event that Solo Sikoa was basically going to be cornered and taken out by all of the baby faces. And then all of a sudden, first of all, Robin, I was thinking, there's no way Solo Sikoa is about to be like chickened out and taken out here because they can't afford to take this loss anymore. Like they can't afford to take this out. They can't afford to look bad anymore. And then all of a sudden, as I'm thinking that, this smile creeps up on his face, and I'm thinking, oh, that was the second when I thought, okay, he's got something up his sleeve. What is the thing that can be up his sleeve? And within a split second, I'm thinking it's Jacob Fatu because that is only sort of the card that is left to play. Not left to play, but the one that we've been waiting for them to play, right? We've been waiting for them to play this card, and that is the Jacob Fatu card. And so then the second Jacob Fatu comes out and cleans house, takes out all of these men. That spear to Randy Orton through the barricade. I mean, how the hell back the man in half, Robin?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting the timing. Like, I don't know if it was a clash of the past that was like right after that. We're gonna put all the cards on the table because they have been holding the close to the best. And all of a sudden, it's Wyatt. All of a sudden, it's CM Punk. All of a sudden, it's Jacob Fatu. And all this is hitting us bang, 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 bang. And I saw the news about the trademark thing about Caesar Sikoa.
I saw that.
And I'm liking it. I'm digging it.
I do like the name Caesar Sikoa. Or
I like
Caesar Sikoa, right?
Replace his name.
Say that again?
Change Solo's name to Caesar Sikoa. Not
Okay.
that with the way his hair is blonde and everything. And,
I can't do any name changes, like, because then it just takes forever for me to get used to it.
and the leadership role he's taking on, I don't know. But regardless, I feel like Solo felt stronger in this because he's going up against Cody now, because he does have other people coming through, and because, like all due respect to Tama Tonga and all the Tongas, they don't feel as fearsome as Fatu does. Like
it did for a second, and it was only in their debut, and then it quickly faded away, and they weren't able to gain it back. It does not hit the same way that Jacob Fatu does.
Yeah, we've seen the Jacob Fatu. You had your interview with him. I've seen the highlights of him. He has a skill level and a talent level that you just can't replicate. Hey, he looks like he's in really good shape too.
He's very agile for his size. Because you just see him,
down the ring with the spear. Obviously, Logan Paul with the drone shot. We go back these long hallway shots. The Drew McIntyre CM Punk shot tonight. Down to that flash
It does feel like there is this new. I mean, it feels like the bloodline took Blue Chew. I know Blue Chew's. We're not playing a Blue Chew read today, but damn, it feels like the bloodline took Blue Chew because that is how it feels coming off of tonight. Now, I do want to go ahead and cheap plug. I do have that interview with Jacob Fatu up here on the channel. I did that at the top of this year, so it's only a couple months that I did it ago.
It was WrestleMania that I remember, like.
Because that's when I shared the clip, right?
Yeah, because I remember I was walking into the arena and I saw you tweet about it.
Hey, he is going to WWE, and the second people found out that he was going to WWE and that he was part of the bloodline and all of this, he skyrocketed to 66,000 views on YouTube, which is a lot from 4,000 to 66K and just like that. So right away, I was like, I gotta promote this because that's the thing. In this interview, you will see, honest to God, no bullshit. You watch this interview, you will see his personality. He is mega big.
Oh, in the bloodline. The other two are now henchmen, right? Like the Tongas are henchmen. Fatu is the heavy. He's the bully, and Sikoa is the.
I like how you broke it down. That's good. All right, let's see what the people here are saying. We got Andrew Cool who says best week of WWE since forever. When's the last time they had a strong week like this? Because I knew when it was. I feel like the last time was when we were seeing The Rock and Cody on both Raw and SmackDown, and it kind of felt like we were being fed a lot.
Yeah, I remember, kind of digging the first show or two post WrestleMania SmackDown, but it didn't have the same buzz and energy. Then it felt like they went into a little bit of a lull, probably a month and a half, whatever the case may be. But yes, it wasn't.
All of May, I felt was really, really slow, and I was even sort of worried. I started thinking, like, damn, man, there's nothing to talk about in wrestling, and
I didn't get your own head. Now, all that thing, energy brings.
shots. Dude, that was freaking crazy. Robin, I didn't get to get your thoughts on that, but what did you think of that? Getting to see the Wyatt Six debut and then Chad Gable basically being taken out.
That's just what has happened to Chad Gable since how he works out and whether this faction works out. But as far as the introduction, it was exquisite. It was incredibly well done. And I think you can just kind of forget what happened at the end. Almost make it non-canon, right? Like it's just like a cool visual. They made some callback toward it.
In the entire thing, the other guys, like, I'm hoping they can hang.
Yeah, I mean, that comes down to Solo. It really does. I mean, how does Solo do? And it comes down to Cody too. Cody's, you can throw Roman during that title reign. How many different people did he go against? Right, like over and over and over and over again, and everybody felt like they had a purpose, or at least it moved and everything. But at least the good thing with this and Cody, now that we're past the AJ Styles stuff and the Logan Paul stuff, it at least feels like a connection in some way. Like, it is a callback. It's not random. Cody has been involved with the bloodline in some way, shape, form, or fashion for a minute. And now you also have, I think the go-between here is the Cody, Randy, Kevin Owens match against whatever three bloodline members they're going to wind up going against. That can buy you time before you get to.
We got Jay Stone here who says Bianca looked noticeably annoyed losing tonight and last week, and perhaps these are really strong reaction from the crowd. I really do think that Chelsea Green has won people over just simply through Bianca's a shoo-in. No, Chelsea got the win. What do you make of this?
Yeah, no, you weren't the only one happy. You know the crowd was happy. And you talk about her character, she's one in character, right? Like the way her character. It's not like she's being presented. It's not like a perfect showcase for.
I have liked to see it just a little bit different, just so they could. I didn't want Chelsea Green's moment to sort of be stepped on a little bit. Didn't.
I did not. No, I did not. I noticed the face reaction from
WWE's concerned on overshadowing because Jacob Fatu came out and laid out all three of them out with ease. I know that a lot of people, I think that was floating around the internet, was people saying Jacob Fatu sort of overshadowing Solo Sikoa, and that was also something that I had in mind as well because it's very clear. I mean, you're talking about it, but Swag just mentioned it. You mentioned it. I mentioned it. He came out and he took out three of the biggest stars just like that. I mean, they really got this debut right. And it wasn't just like he was hitting the moves. No, he hit the moves times 10. There was a lot of impact and a lot of fire in what he did. I mean, we talked about it right at the top of the show. The visual of that frog splash. I mean, come on.
The crowd.
And my favorite thing about it was that Cody started to fight back and didn't win out. Like I told you, that was the one moment when he clotheslined Fatu over the top. I was like, no, you're not going to have him clothesline him over the top and then look at it and say, like next week. No, that weakens him. I love that happened. Cody fought back. He's champion. He should fight back. Like he should not be easily disposed of. He's fighting back. But for Fatu then to pull him out of the ring and get the best of him and cross splash him the way he did, that to me was the best part of it all. It's not just the debut and the ass whooping, but the fact that he flipped it back on Cody and didn't move down to Cody in the one-on-one.
Steven Marchulli says with the surprise Money in the Bank qualifiers, will they use the briefcase to build a new star? I think they should. I really do think they should. However, I feel like I'm pretty positive on my picks right now for the men's. To me, it's Jey Uso. And then for the women, I know we talked about this a couple of times, but it's to me it's still Tiffany Stratton. I think that's where we're sort of. I don't think I've changed my opinion just yet on that.
Those were my picks for months, more or less, or for a long time. But one of those two won't come through. One of those, they have the.
I don't know, man. They're pleasing the fans right now. They might just give us what we want.
I'm not sure who's gonna win Money in the Bank based on who qualified. Do you really think that we're gonna get a successful casting? Unless whoever wins it will probably be a transitional champion. I'm already predicting that. Now who gonna cast him on what? Now whoever's on Raw, Damian Priest ain't losing, and then Gunther when he's not losing. Think Cody Rhodes is losing by casting? He could lose it and maybe have a transitional champion.
I don't think so. I think they're really doing. No, sorry, I was getting confused with tournaments right now. I was thinking of something else. Looks confused looking at Jacob Fatu as well. All right, so I'm glad that a lot of people did pick up on those facial reactions. I'll have to go back and rewatch that because I didn't notice it. But that's another one that I've been waiting for, Hikuleo as well. There's been that expectation that he's coming through as well. And I mean, the Bloodline, as we mentioned earlier, is full of a shit ton of people that can come in. And Hikuleo is another one that has sort of been, we're waiting upon as well. I'm not really as excited about Hikuleo as I am Jacob Fatu. So I think my reaction is definitely going to be different.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jacob Fatu was the one that I was expecting and excited for, and I think sometimes we forget how effective it can be of making weight, right? Oh yeah, for sure it was, but all at once, and I guess that's probably mostly on purpose, right? I hear you out. You're the first person named Bunny Swag 69 I've ever heard out, and I am hearing you out. And I'm with you. So that really hard.
Punk.
No, I think that's Bloodline versus Bloodline. I think that's when they're getting to that. I think all that other stuff happened.
I don't know, man. I don't know because I don't know when Roman's coming back though.
Roman's coming back by some. I can't imagine.
But, okay, and if he's not back by then, can we go with my version?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel. I'm just saying. I feel like we have time. I feel like we could stretch this out. Like we get one more games right now, and then we get another War Games next year. I mean, come on, we can stretch it out. I mean, they freaking stretched out Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns till no end.
Well, no, for sure. And what you still got? That's the beauty of it. You still have two matches with Cody and The Rock and another Cody Roman. Both of those are highly anticipated matches.
Didn't The Rock get hurt on the movie set recently?
I mean, he did, but I don't think it was
I haven't read the details on that.
I think it was like a bursa elbow or something.
Oh.
But I mean, he'll be okay by WrestleMania. So I think those are big. I'm not talking about in the near future. I think in the near future, obviously, they're building towards a Cody solo program, and then I think eventually a Cody Randy program at some point because Randy looked at that belt, very like it was advertising for him at the end of the Clash of the Castle. So I think all those things are in play. I'm just saying down the line they still have those huge matches in the back pocket. Cody and Rock, which was really the hottest feud in wrestling last year, and then Cody and Roman Part 3 when they've already put on 2 matches.
And it felt like it was going to take such a long time to get to something that was as exciting as Cody and The Rock. But I feel like I have been as excited for Drew and Punk. And that to me has been like the recent thing that I've been really excited about, which we'll talk about in just a second. But we got Sheldon Jackson here who says, I hope Jacob Fatu can do the international shows because I know his past will make it hard for him to do those shows with R-Truth's past does. Yeah, and I don't know exactly the details, but I think it was something with like the shoplifting incident that I recall people talking about. I don't even want to bring it up because it's like the past is the past. It was such a long time ago. He's moving on. He's done such great work in the indies and all of that. I got how the kneeling though. I don't think
So I'm
at the time.
It worked out.
Backstage segment. And so it looks like they're continuing to move forward with this. And I don't know, what do you think's playing out with that? And what do you think's playing out with Jade and Bianca at the moment?
Yeah, I think we're getting to Jade and Bianca quicker than we might have thought, right? Like, it felt like this was going to be, maybe they'd be a tag team for a while, but once they took the titles off them, I think that's the signal that we're getting at. Maybe that's SummerSlam too, right? Like, think about Punk and Drew and Jade and Bianca at SummerSlam.
Gunther and Priest.
And then would it be Cody and Solo at this point? I think
Possibly.
maybe Drew and Punk headline SummerSlam, main event SummerSlam. But Bianca and Jade is another really marquee match that they might be accelerating toward that event.
We got Brandon Rosen here who says, good to have good old Canadian girl. Yeah, I won't give away my number one. Looks Instagrams, YouTube comments, I read.
Most of the CM Punk hate is going to come, and I'm not. And CM Punk has been Drew McIntyre could not win that. I don't care where it was.
We all saw it coming. Everybody knew this was.
It might not have come across well.
Looking out and attacking him there. I thought that was a nice surprise because again, I had gotten past that and I wasn't.
Enough of these damn commercials. God damn it. No more of these fucking commercials.
Right.
Alright.
We sitting steady cam wrong side and yeah, he had to work like this was easy for him, and he did it. Like yeah, this is very
People will choose you over something else. I've been saying
just in time, yo. In the world of
what?
Alright, here we go. There was no DQ.
werewolves on Baywatch.
you know what? After the sun goes down.
I did hear all of it. My thoughts were, it was great. It was so.
Now let me see what Sean WhatsApp has to say. Sean WhatsApp was also on here.
Showing up at the end. Best SmackDown in a while, in my opinion. Cheers. It was the best SmackDown in a while, and that's partly why.
Yeah, because last week's SmackDown was fucking boring and just the same old shit. I thought it was just lame. But this week was a lot better. A lot happened on this week. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu returning. We had Money Bank qualifying matches. LA Knight and Logan Paul.
Sean is here to take us off and talk all about it. Sean.
Going to look at the rundown, and if you subscribe to Fightful Select, you saw that we broke news of the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. However, we also noted on there that it was only one segment, so that's not standard for matches of that quality. Usually there'll be at least two, maybe one or two with an entrance as one of the segments as well. So that was my first hint that something was up. Jacob Fatu was not listed on any rundowns or anything like that. His signing hasn't been like a secret. He got signed in April. He tried to kayfabe me on it, but dude's hanging out at the Talent Hotel. He's backstage at WrestleMania. He made a wonderful impression on people backstage. So part of the reason why, I wouldn't say it was told to me, but we had reported on Fightful Select just moments ago that it was heavily implied to me why it took so long for him to debut. MLW sources had once told me, hey, go look at Jacob Fatu's match history, see if you notice anything out of the ordinary. Well, I noticed he never wrestled outside the United States. Usually that's because somebody has like a record or something that prevents them from doing that. And I had mentioned on the show before that with the abundance of PLEs and live events that WWE has outside the country, that it probably wouldn't make sense to debut a major figure and then he can't be on like what 4 straight PLEs. So that was heavily implied to me within WWE. That was a reason. However, they don't really have a concern about that history anymore. He has made wonderful impressions across the wrestling world. Dude was working 45-minute main events in MLW, so he can work a televised main event style. He's got a great attitude from everybody that I've ever heard from, and I mean my personal interactions with him. Dude is just wonderful. In fact, like I had people saying, like, yeah, he approached everything really respectfully. A lot of like, yes, sirs, happy to be here, stuff like that. A very jovial guy. He's all about his family. Got a bunch of kids that he's taking care of. Just seems like a great addition. Like I think this is going to be Fade to Black. They were like biggest SmackDown we've had in months, maybe biggest since WrestleMania. So that's
on maybe, the Wyatt.
100.
Damn this goddamn commercial.
No matter what. So.
Best deal.
Well, that is it. You on the note?
Yes, but I don't think it's too bad if it's on the nose because
That's not the only big. For a very long time. And that is the arrival of Jacob Fatu. So not only did we have CM Punk on this show, who was making an appearance to give us some good news, perhaps, to give us some sort of update on his health, which we never actually got. But it all built to the final segment of the show, Solo Sikoa, cornered by the baby faces, cornered by Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens with no place to go until the arrival of the Samoan werewolf. And I was so delighted to finally see this man on my television screen. It's goddamn time. This was the most newsworthy week of WWE television since WrestleMania season. And really, since WrestleMania season, there has been this lull where it hasn't felt the same, and that's understandable because WrestleMania, there's always a lot going on. We have The Rock, right? The Rock disappeared after WrestleMania. But we've been in this sort of what I would describe as a post-WrestleMania funk. As far as news and just, a lot of things that just haven't really been hitting in the same way. And tonight, it felt like they were firing on all cylinders. It felt like tonight they had something to prove, like they were holding back from us over these last several weeks. And they're like, you know what? We're going to wait until we get to the All-State in Chicago. Then we're going to just unload. So we had on this show now, I have to say one other thing about this Bloodline storyline. As far as Jacob Fatu arriving, this could not come at a better time. Because you have heard me talk about this on Smackdown in recent weeks, where this Bloodline story, Roman Reigns has been gone since WrestleMania. The Rock disappeared, Roman Reigns disappeared, and they have given the reins over to Solo Sikoa. And the man who has been carrying this Bloodline storyline on television has been one, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has been carrying this thing, Oscar-worthy performances every single week, trying to keep people invested in this story. Just based on his mannerisms and his facial expressions. I mean, he looks like a hostage. Every week we tune into this television show to the point where I'm actually feeling sympathy for this man. He does not want to be under the thumb of Solo Sikoa and the Tongans, and nobody misses Roman Reigns more than Paul Heyman. You could only do that so many times. You could only have Solo browbeating Paul Heyman so many times, and Tama Tonga grunting, before it gets old. You got to move on to the next step. Where is the next step in this story? Is it the return of Roman Reigns? Is it the arrival of Jacob Fatu? Is it someone else that we're not thinking of? Please give me something. This is what I've been waiting for. And tonight, they gave you Jacob Fatu. They answered those questions, and they gave us, in my opinion, and I've said this before, and this is to take nothing away from Roman Reigns or any of the other members of the family, but having seen them work and his work, his promos, all of it, Jacob Fatu can do it all. And if you are someone who is not familiar with his work, if you've only seen a little bit of his work, maybe in MLW or on the independent scene, what you saw at the end of Smackdown tonight was just a taste of what you will get from this man. This man came out there, first of all, Jacob Fatu comes out there in the best shape that I have ever seen him in my entire life. Okay, this man, we know he's been putting the work in over these last few months in preparation for this moment, because he knows that this is it right here. This is the opportunity that he has been waiting for years. He has wanted to come to WWE. He has wanted to be a part of this Bloodline storyline. Okay, I can tell you that. This is something he has been waiting for a very long time. He is going to take full advantage of this moment, and you that this man has been putting in. He was almost, when he initially walked out there, almost unrecognizable. I mean, he has slimmed down. He was killing Cody Rhodes, killing Randy Orton, killing Kevin Owens, flying off the top rope, doing a splash through Cody on the announce table outside. He had the crazy eyes. Note the reaction from the Tongans as they're all putting their fingers up in the air at the very end of the show. And the looks on the faces of Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, especially Tongaloa, who had these looks on their faces like, what the hell's up with this guy? Like, they didn't know what was going on, and they're a little afraid of this guy. This guy's a wild man. He's a werewolf. Jacob Fatu can do it all. Now, remember that report from WrestleVotes, whatever it was, a couple months ago, that was talking about there being concern within WWE internally about the debut of Jacob Fatu and the possibility that he may very well end up what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm like so full of energy right now. Outshining. Not overindulging. Outshining Solo Sikoa. And I said, you know what? They should be worried about that, because he will outshine Solo Sikoa, because Solo Sikoa is no Jacob Fatu. So maybe they should put him on the opposite side. Maybe they should have him on the babyface side of this Bloodline story. Maybe they should have Jacob Fatu on the side of Jimmy and Jay when the Usos eventually reunite and Roman Reigns comes back. They chose to go in a different direction, at least to start. He's on the heel side. He's on the New Blood version of the Bloodline here, the Bloodline Wolfpack. He's going to be a heel. Now, down the road, they can very easily turn him. He can flip over to the other side of the tracks. Easy enough to do. This is what they have chosen to do. Maybe it will play into the story. Maybe at some point down the line, Jacob Fatu will take over from Solo Sikoa, and Solo Sikoa will realize that he has unleashed a monster here that he cannot control. I don't know where this story is going to go. And that's part of the fun of it. I don't know what direction now they're going to take this in, right? I mean, it can go any number of ways. But when I look at Solo Sikoa and I look at Jacob Fatu side by side, and I say to myself, which one of these men here looks like a leader? Which one of these men looks like they should be the one leading the bloodline? It's Jacob Fatu. But that's not the role they have him playing right now. I was also very happy to see him debut under his name. There have been some murmurs about trademark applications that were filed for other names. Maybe that's for Jacob Fatu. And certainly doesn't appear that that is going to be the case. But again, this could not come at a better time in this storyline. And we are also now on the road to SummerSlam. SummerSlam, all of a sudden, between the Punk and McIntyre stuff and now this stuff, right? Looking at SummerSlam, looking pretty good right now. Especially you look at the top of that potential SummerSlam card. I like the way that things are shaping up. And I don't know ultimately where Jacob Fatu will fall on that card or exactly what role he's going to play there. But there's time to find that out. But we had another little wrinkle here in the Bloodline story, and it was quick. It was before the main event tonight. Solo Sikoa was coming out for his match. And he made a comment, very interesting comment, to Paul Heyman. When Paul Heyman mentioned Roman Reigns by name, Solo cut him off and said, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Roman Reigns is not coming back. And this was news to Paul Heyman. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. That was it. And Solo went out to the ring, and that was it. That was the only mention of that we got. What does he mean by that? What does Solo Sikoa mean when he says that Roman Reigns is not returning? Obviously, I expect him to return soon, as in these next couple of months. I certainly hope we see Roman Reigns back on TV in time for SummerSlam. But what does he mean by that? Obviously, it caught Paul Heyman by surprise. What does he know that Paul Heyman does not? I don't know. But again, it's a wrinkle in the Bloodline story that has been needed now for a while. Now they have my attention to see exactly where this ends up going. But that's just the Bloodline. That's not the only big thing that happened on the show tonight, because they were in Chicago. In Chicago, not a surprise that you would see CM Punk make an appearance. And as soon as they started promoting CM Punk for an appearance in his hometown, I knew exactly where this was going. As I said at the beginning of the week, now, if you watched Clash at the Castle last Saturday, less than a week ago, Drew McIntyre went into Scotland. He went into Glasgow. His second Clash at the Castle main event. Got screwed over the first time by Solo Sikoa, ironically, and the Bloodline, and failed to win the WWE Championship. This was his shot at redemption, to walk in and beat Damian Priest and become the World Heavyweight Champion again. And who was there to fuck it all up for him? CM Punk. Screwed him out of the title in the main event in his home country. Drew McIntyre comes to Raw on Monday night, can't even come up with the words to say other than, I can't do this anymore, I quit. And he leaves. And Drew McIntyre quits WWE, deactivated his social media. He goes home. He takes his ball and he goes home. Then you remember that CM Punk is scheduled for Smackdown on Friday in his hometown. And he might even have some good news for us on the health front. It seemed obvious to me where this was headed. You should have seen it coming from a mile away. And they did not disappoint, because CM Punk may have walked to the ring tonight to open the show. He did not leave this building on his own power. He was carried out in an ambulance to a hospital. And yes, they called it a hospital. That's right. A more local medical facility. He was taken to the hospital. And Drew McIntyre made the comment to Kayla Braxton. We didn't see it, but she said that McIntyre told her, see you on Monday. So apparently, this was the George Costanza way of quitting from Seinfeld, the Larry David way of quitting, where you quit on a Friday, you show up to work on Monday like nothing even happened. So we'll have to wait until Monday to hear from Drew McIntyre. But the angle they shot with those two tonight was important for another reason. There were a lot of people who were very upset by the finish of that match at Clash at the Castle. Very upset that they would screw over Drew. Why would you do that to him? You killed him in his hometown. He should have been the champion. I didn't have a problem with the way they did the finish. And in fact, I thought that it made all the sense in the world when you think about it in the larger context of this story they're telling with him and CM Punk. Some people didn't see it that way. That angle that you saw tonight, where CM Punk was laid out and bloodied off camera, but he was bloodied and taken away in an ambulance by Drew McIntyre. That angle does not happen. He walks into Clash at the Castle and wins the World Heavyweight Championship. It had to happen that way for us to get to where we were tonight in Chicago. That's why it was the right finish. You may not like it. There are finishes they do that I don't like. And sometimes they don't even make a lot of sense. But this one made a lot of sense. That's why they did what they did in Glasgow on Saturday. And the angle they did tonight was pitch perfect. And now they have set up another huge match. Assuming Punk gets cleared, that is going to be one of the biggest matches this year on the SummerSlam card. And we had not one, not two, but three Money in the Bank upsets in qualifying matches. We had three matches. We had three upsets on this show as we march towards Money in the Bank in Toronto on July 6th. They gave us a lot tonight. If anything, I'm surprised by the fact they didn't hold back some of that for next week, because Smackdown next week is going to be at Madison Square Garden. From Chicago to New York. I'm expecting another big show next week. Maybe as big as this one. But let's go through all of this here. This is your Friday night Smackdown. On Monday would be the biggest thing to talk about. And then they dropped this Smackdown bomb on us here tonight. You know what's really nice is the fact that in the same week, we had an episode of Monday Night Raw. We had what I thought was a great episode, or a very enjoyable episode. They had to address it in some way. You cannot just come on the air tonight for SmackDown and pretend that what happened on Monday at the end of the show did not happen, where we had bodies piled up like something out of a Michael Myers movie. You had to acknowledge it in some way, and so they did it in a sensible way. They had to come out and say, look, we've taken every precaution that we can. What happened on Monday is not going to happen tonight, and we did not. We did not see the Wyatt Six on TV tonight, so apparently they're going to respect the rules of the draft and the brand split, and they are going to keep it to Mondays.
There is no brand split.
They were in Chicago. CM Punk was in Chicago too, and he came out to open the show, and of course he got a monster reaction when he promised Chicago that he would leave. And so Drew, he sent him to the morgue. Actually, the Wyatts. The Wyatts damn near sent Chad Gable. I say they damn near sent Chad Gable to the morgue. I guess we should talk about the breaking news here for those who don't know. Literally, maybe about an hour ago, Adam Pearce posted a video, the Raw general manager, making the announcement. A little bit of breaking news here. That Chad Gable, despite the condition that we saw him in at the end of the show on Monday, has been medically cleared. Chad Gable has been reinserted into the Money in the Bank qualifying match that was originally scheduled for Raw this coming Monday. It was going to be Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable. After Gable got killed off at the end of Raw Monday night, they replaced him with Ilya Dragunov. Well, Ilya Dragunov is out, and Chad Gable has his old spot back. So we're back in business here. Chad Gable will have a chance on Monday to qualify for Money in the Bank. Zombie Gable, that's right. If you go to Chad Gable's Twitter, and I love it. He posted a picture. I'm almost positive it's a photo of Jason Voorhees of CM Punk. We hear the ladies and gentlemen. And Heyman walked out. Heyman, I talked about Punk coming out and getting a monster reaction. Heyman came out and got a monster reaction of his own here in Chicago. And he got tons of ECW chants as well. He said he wasn't out here to disrespect Punk. He just got here. He's tears welling up in his eyes. Either that or there. and that's for the Wyatts. But that's not going to do any good. One head of the table. So why doesn't he leave his family in the back? Kevin and Randy are not going to help him. And the two of them will settle this here tonight. And the fans like that idea. And Solo, you can see Solo mouthing the words, "I'll see you later." To close out the segment. What an opening to Smackdown tonight. You know, they say that it's about how you start and how you finish. And if that's the case, how do you not call this the best Smackdown of the year? And we have the little tease here. Well, not even little. I mean, we have the straight up tease for a main event later in the show between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa, which I was very happy about, by the way. And the reason I was happy they did it tonight, even though we really didn't get much of a match, I just thought, well, if we're going to get it tonight, then we're probably not going to get it at Money in the Bank. Because I really don't have any interest in seeing that being the next title match. Seeing what they did here on the show, it's still possible we could get that as a title match in Toronto, but I'm thinking not. They're going to go the six-man tag route. But this was excellent. I mean, everything about this segment, I loved it. It hit all the right notes. It hit all the high notes that it had to. No Drew McIntyre. I thought Drew was going to come out during Punk's segment to take him out. Patience. It did not happen here. Not done yet. We were only getting started. By the way, I love something else they did here, whether they intended to do this or not. What they did here is they set up a potential future story for, and this may be months and months, it's going to be next year, deep into next year. But what they did was they set up a potential future storyline and match involving Roman Reigns and CM Punk, where Paul Heyman potentially could be caught in the middle. Where does his allegiance lie? Is it going to be, because, you know, a couple months ago, I was talking about this whole bloodline civil war thing and how we could be talking about, well, where does Heyman's allegiance lie? Is it going to be with Solo? Is it going to be with Roman? Well, it's very clear where his allegiance lies. He doesn't want to be with Solo Sikoa. He only wants to be with Roman Reigns. So there's no question where his loyalty lies. But at some point, if we get Roman and Punk, if they cross paths, even though later in the show, Heyman said that Roman understands that Punk is his boy and he's off limits. We're going to get Roman Reigns and CM Punk at some point. And that can be very interesting to see where Paul Heyman ends up and all that. So that's just a little seed kind of just planted over there in that corner, right? It's going to be very slow growing. It's not going to grow for a while, but it's over there. We'll come back to that at some point. And also, the way that Cody told him, he goes, you know, I'll leave Randy and Owens in the back. And you leave your boys in the back. And we'll just do this one-on-one, man-to-man. Something felt off. Something felt a little fishy, like we're getting a big angle at the end of the show. Sure enough, that's exactly what happened. They just sort of blend together for me.
All right, come on.
Huge reaction.
Now let me show you JD from New York. We'll talk about his review first. And then I can go back to my review on Smackdown. Just want to give you JD from New York reacting. It's gonna take a while here. Just want to play the beginning.
So tonight, JD, your Braves dominating the Yankees tonight. Yes, they did. Surprisingly, I was expecting a Yankee sweep this weekend, but in the Bronx, too bad. I haven't heard the Bronx that quiet since I moved away from that fucking shithole, man. Great. That only adds to how good this night was, man. Unbelievable. You guys are great. Adam, thank you so very much. And thank you guys for being here, man. We got a great crowd tonight. I'm pumped. I'm happy. I'm excited. We got 2,600 people in here, man. People are still walking on in.
Jesse's checking IDs at the door like a fucking geek. Don't let listen, bro, don't let any unusual suspects into the thing. We don't need any trouble, man. We don't need any of those fucking fightful geeks trying to come into the establishment. They're not allowed. Right? They're not allowed. We don't need none of that shit. We don't need none of that shit. Come on, man! Jesus fucking brother, I gotta dump you. I gotta get rid of you, man. You're a complete fucking nimrod. I don't know why you come here either, motherfucker. Fucking guy. Who's letting the rats in? Okay? I thought we called the exterminator, man. No mas. We'll put that to the side, man. We got a Smackdown to talk about tonight. Get down to business. Smackdown. I don't think you guys are ready. I don't think you guys are ready for what's to come, man. Jacob Fatu has debuted officially, finally, with World Wrestling Entertainment. And I'm telling you all this right now, man. Your new favorite Samoan has hit the scene. Absolutely. This guy is going to do things that you've never seen before from a man his size. He's going to bring the violence. He's going to bring the chaos. He's going to bring the bloodline to some interesting television in the weeks and months ahead. Finally. And he slimmed down. The last time we saw him at House of Glory, Jason Salamanca and I called Jacob Fatu during his World Heavyweight Championship run at House of Glory, and he looked phenomenal then, man. You compare him to what he looked like there to what he looked like tonight. The guy looks in tremendous shape, man. You can tell that he's absolutely ready for the prime time. He more than can back it up in the ring. We already knew that.
The
But
only big man,
being
the
included
only big
here,
man,
man,
and big
is
feud.
something
The
that
way
I've
you
been
want.
very
I think the way.
much looking forward to, and I can't wait to see what story they tell and how they progress this story with this Bloodline 2.0, building its faction and strengthening under the leadership of Solo Sikoa, which obviously has been a topic of discussion. We didn't know where he was going to fit. We didn't know Jacob Fatu, being a heel or being a babyface. We didn't know where Triple H was going to slot him. We didn't know what position was best for him. The rumor early on, and this came directly from WrestleVotes, and they are as credible as anybody. I believe a lot of what they put out. They put out something months ago. WWE was this was before WrestleMania. WWE was very, very hesitant to bring Jacob Fatu to television under the new bloodline or aligned with the new bloodline because they felt that he was going to basically steal the thunder away from Solo Sikoa. And he was going to be the star of the group. He basically will be what Solo should be. And that's what their major concern was. Come to find out, tonight they changed plans clearly, and they aligned Jacob Fatu with Solo Sikoa. The discussion coming into tonight was where he would fit best. If that was the rumor, and we were going to go based off WrestleVotes' rumor, Jacob Fatu would have landed in the bloodline that would be led by Roman Reigns when he comes back, and he would be aligned as babyface. Because if the WrestleVotes rumor was the one that WWE was hanging on to and they were thinking about, and that was the major problem, that wouldn't be a problem with Jacob Fatu standing next to Roman Reigns. He's not going to outshine Roman Reigns. He would be in a position where Roman would make his star brighter working alongside Roman. There would be no instance where Jacob Fatu steals Roman Reigns' spotlight at all. Now, he's in the Bloodline 2.0 led by Solo, Tamatonga, Tangaloa, and by all accounts, I mean, he's already stolen the thunder for the entire group. They've been on television together for about less than a month, and he's already outshined all of them completely together in his debut night. That's what I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get a babyface Jacob Fatu, but I'm glad that WWE stuck to their guns. Jacob Fatu has a criminal record 18 years old. He was charged with armed robbery, and he had a record that was going to diminish his pro wrestling run. We didn't know how WWE was going to want to work around that. We didn't know if WWE was going to want to work around that. It's not an issue now. I mean, he's done his time. He's developed a reputation for himself as one of the fucking best that this industry has to offer. And any company would be foolish to not pick him up and utilize him on their television show. So I'm glad that's not an issue. There's no reason why anything at 18 years old for a 30-plus-year-old man should be holding him back on national television. He was 18 years old. We live, we learn, we move on, we grow, we mature. We're different people. So I'm glad that's not the case. But that was the rule. WWE's never going to give you a chance. WWE's never going to put their money on Jacob Fox. They would be foolish. They would be
Now
foolish.
I am a felon. I am a felon.
Literally, he's on television. And I'm glad that WWE did not listen to bullshit. Along with everybody else chirping around, oh, Jacob Fox, he's not going to get to WWE. I'm glad. I'm glad none of that came to fruition. And what you guys are going to get, none of you are ready.
I'm not allowed to have
None
guns
of you are
because
ready.
I'm a felon. And
I'm already envisioning Roman versus Jacob Fatu. Roman Reigns in the ring with Jacob Fatu. Imagine what we're going to get there, man. Unbelievable. This entire Smackdown show from top to bottom was fucking fantastic. And I've been very critical. I've been very hard on Smackdown for a good while now, man. Coming out of WrestleMania, there isn't one single fucking on this show that I really could sit here and tell you week by week by week that I legitimately care about. And I know a lot of these companies, man, AEW, WWE, they're going through a major down period right now, more so over on the other side. A lot of that has to do with injuries. WWE was racking up the injury list as well, man. Their disabled list was deep. Topped with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre being out. Roman Reigns being out. The Rock going away for a little bit until he decides to come back again. Rhea Ripley out. Becky Lynch no longer with the WWE officially. Asuka out. A lot of talents missing. And you can see that when those talents get back to television, WWE knows how to create captivating television. This was the best SmackDown all year. Bar none, not even close. This was the best week of WWE television all year. And I'm even including the shows that they put on WrestleMania week or in the build to WrestleMania. This was the best week of WWE television from top to bottom that we've seen all year. Monday Night Raw was the second best Raw of the entire year. The only show on Monday night that was better than it was the show where Cody was beat down by The Rock in the rain outside of his bus. Nothing's going to top that. That was just fucking unbelievable television. But Monday, what we got on Monday was the best Raw that we got all year. Outside that. This was the best SmackDown all year. You put them together, this is the best WWE week that we had all year. And people are really still riding high on NXT as well with their TNA partnership. Joe Hendry on NXT. Joe Hendry, a TNA star, had the biggest, most viewed clip outside of everything that happened in WWE, barring any WrestleMania clips that we've seen. Great crowd as always. We're going into New York next week. SmackDown's in Madison Square Garden. Like I said in the open, man, Triple H cooked the whole fucking Michelin star restaurant quality SmackDown tonight from top to bottom. Did the same thing on Monday Night Raw. And what we were given tonight, there is one huge clear indication that the build for Money in the Bank leading into SummerSlam, we're in for one hell of a fucking summer, man. We're in for a very, very special summer. And I can't wait to see how everything unfolds, especially with WWE getting some of their bigger names back. Plans. And watch me, we've got 3,300 people in here.
Yeah.
Anything
Yo.
but that.
You know what they say? Yo.
CM Punk was on the show tonight. Drew McIntyre was there. Karma is a bitch. He was looking for CM Punk. He quit on Monday night. And I told you guys on Monday that it makes no sense whatsoever if he doesn't show up on Friday in Chicago, quitting the company to show up on Friday night, a brand that he's not a part of, to beat down CM Punk for what he did to him in Glasgow. Stop. That's exactly what we got. Exactly what we got. Love it. Camera shots were great. Visuals were great. Punk stretching out was great. Punk bleeding was great.
Don't give
Great shit. Absolutely amazing feud so far. And they haven't even stepped foot in the fucking ring. Love it. Money in the Bank qualifiers. We got Randy Orton getting pinned by Carmelo Hayes. Chelsea Green screws over Bianca Belair. We got a great Smackdown from top to bottom tonight. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how everything kind of comes together, man, going into Money in the Bank. We are looking at a very special Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up. I can't wait to dive into this Smackdown. We got another super chat from my guy, Adam Casper, man. Years, yes. That is in the things to talk about, Adam. They'll be uploaded. Oh, did not give us a date. He did not give us a time frame. He didn't even address his injury. So we don't know when he's coming back. But the fact that he's been on television and the fact that he's now integrated once again in storylines, you can sniff that CM Punk getting back in a ring for WWE is very, very close. And he will be at SummerSlam. There is nobody here that should be believing Punk is not ready. Punk will be at SummerSlam, and CM Punk vs. Drew McIntyre will be one of the main events for SummerSlam in Cleveland. Mark my words. That will be going on, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. That can definitely may event the show just based on how personal the feud is. Even though I don't know who Cody Rhodes is going to face for the world title. I don't want it to be Solo. I don't think it should be Jacob Fatu. Who the fuck is Cody Rhodes going to be with in the SummerSlam? I don't think it's going to be. It may not be Randy Orton because they haven't even built to that. Unless Randy Orton turns heel, but they haven't even built to that. It actually would make sense to do that match now. Unless The Rock coming back, or if Roman Reigns is going to come back. We don't know.
Punk sat in the middle of the ring. Typical CM Punk. Huge CM Punk chants. He stood and he asked the crowd, "It feels great to be alive in Chicago on a Friday night." He said, "Talking in front of your hometown crowd is pressure." He said, "Promising to do your best and walk away as champion in front of your people is pressure." He then asked the fans to raise their hand or scream if they were there on July 17th, 2011. He promised himself and the fans he was going to walk out of his hometown as WWE champion. That's pressure. One of the best moments in WWE history. Summer of Punk taking the title away from John Cena, kissing him goodbye, kissing the title goodbye as he left WWE without being a contracted worker. Love it. He said he was told he'd get jumped in Scotland if he interfered in the world title match. They'd have his head on a stake, he said. He says he hates to kick a man when he's down, but it's a little bit of revenge. Because for months, Drew McIntyre kicked him when he was down. He says he wasn't just kicking him, he was also kicking Chicago. He said he reacted the Chicago way. He said he set out to kill a career. Easy, he said. He said Drew McIntyre quit on Monday night as a result. He said Drew prayed for bad things to happen to him. He said he made bad things happen to Drew. All of a sudden, Paul Heyman interrupted. Paul Heyman interrupted. Crowd started to break out into a loud ECW chant. Chicago always loves a little Paul Heyman. He says he just got there because he was running a little really pissed off Solo Sikoa. Heyman said now that Solo is, and he said this in a way where he didn't want to really say it. He said Solo now is the head of the table. He didn't really want to say it. He kind of forced himself to say head of the table. Solo wants every town to be his town. He told Punk that any day he's going to get cleared, and anyone, he told him to get the hell out of here right now. Punk dropped his head. He didn't really want to be listening to what Paul Heyman was telling him right now. Punk asked if he's serious in wanting him to leave because Solo and the Tongans are going to try and jump him in Chicago. Is that why you want me to leave? Then the fans started to chant, fuck you, Solo, which on my end, I was surprised by. We didn't get this blacked out. We didn't get this bleeped out on Fox.
Exactly.
Here in New York City, I was surprised.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody at Fox was just as annoyed as us when something, even the minor slip up, is fucking bleeped out or blacked out. They started chanting, fuck you, Solo, and no blanking out, no bleeping it out. Love it.
Yeah.
We should get more fuck you chants on national television, man. It's 2014.
Exactly.
Fucking pussies.
Exactly.
Solo's music hit. He walked out with the Tongans. Solo told CM Punk, who got booed heavily, he has two options. He says he needs to pay his respect to him and the Bloodline, or they're about to make sure
The crowd chanting, fuck you, Solo.
his ass never gets cleared to wrestle ever again. So Heyman is not really hiding his displeasure with this new Bloodline. Heyman is making it very obvious that he does not want to be. Tonight was the most obvious of them all. Literally in front of Punk and in front of the Bloodline.
I am a felon. I would joke on a
out of
robbery.
Chicago.
If this guy would drop in murder, we
Please,
can't be
Punk.
right.
Punk looked at Solo and said, I acknowledge. One finger in the air. He was about to acknowledge the new head of the table. I acknowledge
I'm also a felon.
the fact that
I'm
I
also a
don't see the
felon.
Bloodline standing in front of me. I see a bunch of fake
Well, I
ass
got this
Usos and a
because
phony
I committed a
cosplay
crime. I
tribal
was a
chief.
felon.
He
I
tells
served my
Solo
time.
to go. The Bloodline stood on
I
the
was
apron
18 years
and then entered the ring. All of a sudden, we got a 3-on-1 handicap here. Cody Rhodes slides into the ring to back up CM Punk and hands Punk a baseball bat. They're both standing there with baseball bats, ready to fight the Bloodline. They clearly retreated. Cody told Solo he's already beaten one head of the table, and he challenged him tonight to settle things in the main event, 1-on-1. And Solo obviously nodded yes. This was a tremendous open for Friday Night Smackdown. I said on Twitter, Smackdown has been lacking in the excitement department. They haven't given you anything on Friday night in several weeks to really sink your teeth into. And tonight, a random CM Punk appearance on a show.
Yeah,
that they're
Jacob
not
fought
doing
too.
because it's in
Yeah,
Chicago.
like when the Wild beat up Cody Rhodes. Jacob fought too. Jacob fought too. Made his debut. WWE. Well, he is a felon. He is a felon. He was 18 years old. He does have a criminal record. He was arrested for robbery at 18 years old. The guy's in his mid-30s.
What happened
So
on
hard
Monday
to
with
imagine.
Drew McIntyre quit? CM Punk is out there to address his in-ring status and give us a clearer update on when he will be back. Instead, we got Paul Heyman out there, who obviously him and Punk have history. And that's going to come into picture somewhere down the line when Punk and Roman eventually get in the ring. And that's going to be tremendous when that happens. But they used Paul Heyman out there, knowing his history with CM Punk, to tie him into the overall vibe that the Bloodline is setting on Friday night. It's their show, no matter who is on the show. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. And we all know the history between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. They're out there surrounding Punk. In comes Cody. Cody's got a problem with the bloodline. Cody's got a problem with Solo. They're tying that story into this open, which was all about CM Punk. CM Punk is on Friday Night Smackdown in Chicago, and Drew McIntyre is looming outside the venue looking for karma. 20 minutes of intertwining, weaving story, and story. This was the best open to Friday Night Smackdown in months. And it was as effective as anything that WWE has done in months. That's what I call good television. A well thought out, great promo that set up not only Punk and McIntyre, but it set up potentially somewhere down the line Punk again crossing Roman Reigns, Cody aligning with Punk, who you know they will eventually meet at some point, Cody in the Bloodline, and Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Because he talked about pressure. He talked about a lot of the things that he's gone through, which leads to big pressure. This was a tremendous piece of business. Loved every minute of it.
Me too.
And he take me with you. Can't forget that. Paul Heyman makes it blatantly obvious that he does not want anything to do with these barbarians, these criminals, these thugs that he mentioned several weeks ago. That Solo was hiring criminals for the blood. He wants nothing to do with it. Absolutely great segment. Love it. Moving on.
You want
Bianca
to know
Belair.
that he
She's
keep
warming up
your fucking
backstage.
mouth shut.
Jade Cargill walks in.
Keep your damn mouth shut.
And she said that she needs to go talk to Nick Aldis
Don't
about
talk
their
with me.
rematch for the women's tag
You
team
don't
title.
want my wife to come up here
Belair
and
said,
get
listen, I
you
hear
in your
you,
face.
but I
Trust
have
me,
to take care of
she
business
works for me.
tonight. Qualify for Money in the Bank, and
Trust
then
me,
we
my
can worry
parents
about
work
getting
for me.
our
Especially my mom.
belts back.
You and my
Jade
mom
said she loves it
can up here
and
and get
said
in your
Belair
face.
doesn't need to wish her luck.
We only want
Cody
to
Rhodes
address
was
this
backstage.
murderer. What he did.
She was walking with a baseball. He was
We
walking
want to
with a
address
baseball
our
bat,
anger and
rather.
hatred
When
and
Randy
get
Orton
that
and
for
Kevin
him. That's what
Owens
he did.
approached him, Orton said, with everything going on, are you sure you want to face Solo one-on-one without any help? We're right here.
I have something.
Cody told Orton, I have to do this. Trust me.
Thank you.
Orton walked away. He fist bumped Cody Rhodes. Owens told Cody, listen, I get what you want to do, but just keep in mind, the bloodline always have a plan. Cody says he is sure he's got a plan too. And he wished Owens luck on his Money in the Bank qualifier. Boy, oh boy, was Kevin Owens right on the money. Man, oh man, did they have a plan. A
I
big
have never seen
plan.
anything like it.
Jacob fought two.
When you commit a hate crime like that, this should be an already. There's no sense.
Bianca Belair versus Michin versus Chelsea Green.
I
This was
think
a Money in the Bank
thought so.
qualifier.
I've never seen it.
Everybody looked at this and said, well, Michin's not advancing. Chelsea Green ain't advancing. Bianca Belair is absolutely going to qualify for Money in the Bank. What if I told you that Bianca Belair did not qualify for Money in the Bank? She did not qualify. I think they got bigger plans in mind for Bianca Belair going into SummerSlam. Chelsea Green, she advances and qualifies for the Women's Money in the Bank. Not a bad match and a very surprising outcome because I did not see this one coming. Michin and Belair teamed up on Chelsea to start the match. Green rolled out of the ring. Michin and Belair went one-on-one. Green gets in the ring, started going at it with Bianca, and again, she was quickly taken out of the match. We got a commercial break after Chelsea Green landed a suicide. Nailed the KOD on Michin and stole the match. 1, 2, 3, and Chelsea Green off of a Bianca Belair KOD steals the victory and advances to Money in the Bank. The Chicago crowd went nuts for Chelsea Green winning and advancing to the Money in the Bank ladder. It's great. Chicago loves a good underdog. Chicago also likes what they like. They're not going to bullshit it. Chicago is a great gauge for WWE management about who they should be pushing next, honestly. And that's exactly what happened. Chelsea Green won. Now, I will say this. I'm not a big fan of Chelsea Green. I was before all of this nonsense, this character that she's working. Some people find it to be entertaining. Some people find it to be funny. I don't, and I don't. I think it's lame. I'd much rather see Chelsea wrestle, because she's very good at that when she's allowed to wrestle. She gets in there, she flails about. She gets in there and she's not really taking anything serious. She gets in there and she acts surprised when she hits a move. This woman knows how to wrestle. There's got to be an even line between comedy and serious. Right now, it's way too serious. We said this. She is going to break away from Piper Niven and be the next breakout star for WWE in 2024. WWE could really make Chelsea Green into a star if they wanted to. Alba Fire Isla Dawn, they got a title win in Scotland. Drew McIntyre. WWE is now doing the same thing to Chelsea Green. She's going on into her hometown and she's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. She's going to get a huge reaction there. Good on him. Good on him. Bianca Belair. What are we doing with Bianca? I don't know where this is going, but being that, and I will wait and reserve judgment on this because I do think that we will be getting last chance qualifiers. I do think that all of these losers will have at least one more opportunity to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. It's been done years prior. I think they will continue to do that. They may not. I have no idea. But it looks like WWE may be building. And Salamonster and I talked about this on Tuesday Night Titans. This was last week when we did our Clash the Castle predictions. They may be building Jade and Bianca for SummerSlam, which I don't think is a bad move. I would much rather see it take place at SummerSlam than have it take place at WrestleMania. That match to me, it doesn't really scream WrestleMania. It may scream WrestleMania to the googly-eyed fucking journalist in the community who doesn't know his head from his asshole. It's not a WrestleMania match. Jake can barely fucking wrestle. And you're not going to put Bianca in the ring to lead an entire match with somebody that's greener than my neighbor's front lawn. SummerSlam, we can get away with because there will be other things on the show that will take precedent over that. It's not really the biggest match that you guys think it is. I think they got bigger things in mind for Bianca Belair. And hopefully this tag team with Jade Cargill is going goodbye. It didn't do anything for the division. It didn't do anything for Jade. It didn't do anything for Bianca. Hopefully it goes away. Bianca needs to be, and I've said this for months, a heel. I'd love to see Bianca turn into a heel. But I do think if we get this match, it looks like Jade may go here. We'll see. But Bianca has that type of attitude that it's me. I'm important. I got to do what I need to do. We'll worry about you later. See what happens. Moving on. Bayley. She was backstage, standing and watching this Money in the Bank qualifier. Everybody that Grayson Waller is using Austin Theory. And that he does not really care about his tag team partner. Meanwhile, Johnny Gargano has a long history with Austin Theory. They were in the way together. So all of a sudden they start arguing. This is in front of the garage door backstage at the All-State Arena. All of a sudden the garage door starts slamming. Somebody's knocking on the garage door, slamming against the garage door. We didn't know who it was. Maybe somebody needed to be let in. We don't know. We don't know. And the great thing about it is we don't know what the fuck happened back there. We don't know what happened behind the garage door. So the garage door slowly opens because they feel, whoever's there,
the security guards, let this guy in. He's knocking on the fucking door, let me in. So the garage door slowly opens, and there stands Drew McIntyre in black jeans and a black tank top. And on the ground is CM Punk bleeding. A bloody CM Punk. So use your imagination. Was Drew McIntyre knocking to get into the Allstate Arena, or was he banging CM Punk's head against the fucking garage door, which is the reason why he's laying on the ground bloody? This was a great shot.
I know, right?
This was a psychopath on the loose.
It was awesome.
Shot, man. This was a guy guilty of committing murder, and he just stood there in this stoic fucking cold stance, and he's just standing there admiring the work that he did. Why was Punk on the outside of the venue? Where was he going? Maybe he was on the phone with his wife, drinking a fucking Starbucks. I don't know. But this was a great fucking shot.
Exactly.
Great fucking
I loved it.
So he lifts up CM limp body, pushes. They just let him do what he needed to do. Walk by everybody. He walked by Ashante Adonis. He walked by fucking Cedric Alexander. He walked by Candice and Indy backstage. Nobody said a fucking word to this guy. He's got Punk on his shoulders. He carries him through the backstage area. He walks him into Gorilla, where Bruce and Triple H is sitting. Michael Hayes, Jason Jordan, Nick Aldis. They're all sitting around. Bracelet that CM Punk had on. We don't know the significance of the bracelet. I don't know what bracelet he took, but he took whatever was on CM Punk's wrist. He looked at it and he put it into his pocket. All of a sudden, Nick Aldis and the rest of management, they storm out there, and Nick Aldis shoved Drew McIntyre, and Drew shoved him back even harder, and Aldis got his face and his finger was pointed right at Drew McIntyre. I don't know what was said. Obviously, he doesn't work here. Aldis doesn't have to worry about him normally, because this is not his show. Aldis yelled at Drew. Other producers and staff checked on Punk. They have given us great television. They have not thrown a single fucking punch after a bell is rung. They had that great promo WrestleMania build. Wasn't even built into a match between them. They had that great build. Remember that three-way promo that we got that was just off the fucking chains? Then we get Punk, and whatever he's saying back to Drew, and Drew saying back to Punk. They were on shows together, throwing jabs at each other. Punk went away for a little bit to kind of create the illusion that out of sight, out of mind type of mood. McIntyre gets his championship match. Punk shows up in Scotland. Punk shows up in Chicago, happy about what he did. Calm as a bitch. We're in for an old-timer, folks. Get ready. It's going to be fucking phenomenal. And it all starts at SummerSlam. And the build up until we get this match officially happening has been fucking fantastic. This is what we all want. Story, emotion, characters. Looking at that, they had all the time in the world. CM Punk is back. Drew McIntyre is back. I'm actually surprised by this. I really am. The reason I say that is not because I'm surprised Carmelo won. I'm surprised at who he came to win this match. Goes to show you that WWE is very high on Carmelo hits. Now, I haven't gotten the feeling of Carmelo being a top priority for WWE right out of the gate since he got called up from NXT. I think they kind of missed the boat with his booking as of late. But I'm not going to shit on them because you know exactly that WWE has major plans in store for Carmelo. It's going to be a slow burn. They're not going to push these guys to the top.
Well, this
immediately.
match next week
He's doing his
is
thing on Friday
unpredictable.
night.
I'm not
Brock
sure
Lesnar's doing
who's
his thing
gonna
on
win it.
Monday. They
I
are
think
both in good
Santos
hands.
should
This is
win
not
it
the old
because
administration where they call up
Santos hasn't done
somebody
anything on
that looks and
SmackDown.
sounds like
I watch
Carmelo
the shows
Hayes
every
and
week.
carries
I watch
them the
SmackDown
way
every
we
week.
see
Santos
it.
hasn't really done anything. He's
Not
not in
gonna
a big
happen.
feud, not challenging for titles.
I think
So
this
put him in this live
administration
match and give him an
can be
opportunity.
trusted with the
Logan
NXT
Paul and
talent that they
LA
call
has
up.
been feud.
Not everybody's going to succeed, but most of them that get called up will have
And
a
Cody was
major
not
play
defend
on
the
the main
title
roster.
that week.
And Carmelo Hayes is going to be one of those guys. Now, Randy Orton, Solo Sikoa told Paul Heyman one specific thing earlier in the evening. I need you to go tell the Tongans that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens cannot qualify for Money in the Bank. That's exactly what happened. The Tongans interfered, and they cost Randy Orton a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Hayes did not get an entrance. He was already in the ring. He did not get a televised ring entrance with his team. Tama Tonga got a little bit of a ring entrance. Randy Orton got a full televised ring entrance. So Orton stared down Randy do the ladder match time and time again. We've been there, done that. And then Carmelo Hayes took advantage of it. 1, 2, 3. Carmelo is advancing. The young kid gets a great spot in Toronto at Money in the Bank, and it's going to be exactly what it needs to be. He's going to shine in a match that he's tailor-made for. Plus, I don't think Randy Orton should be working ladder matches at this stage of his career after having extensive back surgery. That's just me. We've seen Randy do the ladder match time and time again. We've been there, done that with Randy and Money in the Bank. Oh, but JD, why is Randy losing in a qualifying match, man? Because Randy Orton's going to factor into something far greater than Money in the Bank. He's going to be mixing it up with the Bloodline at Money in the Bank, teaming alongside Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes against the Bloodline. Said this at the Clash at the Castle poster. Cody Rhodes got rid of AJ Styles. Solo Sikoa came out and asserted his dominance then. Cody and Solo brawled in Scotland. This leads us to now. Cody, Randy, and KO will battle Solo and the Tongans at Money in the Bank. Cody doesn't need to defend the championship in a nothing match with no story. He doesn't need to get into a championship match for the sake of having a championship match. This fits the story. At least he will be there and is in a major story. He doesn't need to defend the championship every fucking show. As long as his presence and his inclusion matters to the overall story. That's where we're going. And I say Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens did not qualify for his Money in the Bank. Carmelo Hayes was the right one.
I agree.
Process of elimination.
I agree because it's new people. Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chelsea Green. It's new people. Nobody surprised me tonight, and I do agree. We don't need veterans like Randy Orton. Kevin Owens is good, but he doesn't need to be in it. Now next week we got LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Santos Escobar in the qualifying match. Jay Cardell is gonna be in the qualifying match next week. Not sure who's gonna win those. These matches seem unpredictable. You don't know who's gonna win it. Now going to Money in the Bank, I'm not sure who's gonna win it. I think the woman is pretty obvious and pretty clear for a lot of fans who should win it. But for the men, I'm not sure.
Carmelo Hayes was the right one. LA Knight. He wants Logan Paul and the United States Championship. LA Knight. The rumor is that LA Knight and Logan Paul will battle it out for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. How do we get there? How are we going to take this feud and this tension between LA Knight and Logan Paul
and get it to SummerSlam. WWE found a way, and I like where they're going with this. Now, LA Knight's out there, and obviously he wanted Logan Paul to come on out, and immediately he did not come out. He made his entrance, he got a big pop. He told Logan Paul to get to the ring and bring his United States Championship title with him. He said Logan has no-showed Chicago because he was not out. He says he can't run next week because it's him, Logan Paul, and Santos Escobar in a Money in the Bank qualifier. He said he'll beat him next week. It's not really what he wanted, but he'll take it. And then he'll win Money in the Bank and then beat him again. So LA Knight, he has insinuated, and this is not the only time we've heard this, LA Knight has insinuated that he will win Money in the Bank and then cash in on Logan Paul to become the new United States champion. Now, unless WWE changed the rules, I don't know why anybody would do that. Did WWE just magically, without us knowing, change the rules to the Money in the Bank? Instead of getting a title opportunity anytime you want over the next 12 months, is it any title that you want over the next 12 months and not just the World Championships?
Oh, I hope not, 'cause that just devalued the whole thing. I think that could have worked in like the first 2 years that we had Money Bank, probably back in 2005. But we had Money Bank for like almost like 15 years, 15, 16 years. We had Money Bank as a thing, and now you want to say, oh, you can't on a mid-card title. That destroyed the whole concept of Money Bank. You cancel for a lesser title, and if you lose, oh, they don't come back from that. Are they really gonna do what you did with Austin Theory? Because Austin Theory was a complete utter disgrace, utter burial. Not just the Austin Theory, but the whole concept. I hope that's not doing that again.
I don't know. Maybe that's how we get it. I don't.
But that's just fucking stupid. LA Knight did not need to win Money in the Bank. There's other way to challenge Logan Paul. This challenge is for your title. You win Money in the Bank, that kind of a waste. Why? Because they don't know who's gonna win it. We don't know if he even gonna be in the match. If LA Knight win the qualifying match next week, is he gonna pin Logan Paul or Santos? And if LA Knight wins it, then he's not winning. Logan Paul gonna screw him over. I actually think Santos should win next week, so he should be in it. LA Knight don't need to be in it. And if he is, Logan Paul gonna screw him over.
If I sit here and tell you that I would prefer that, we don't need that to happen. I think that's a waste of the Money in the Bank. Solid Monster and I talked about this as well on Tuesday with Chad Gable. Maybe Chad Gable gets into the Money in the Bank. Maybe Chad Gable wins Money in the Bank. Maybe Chad Gable catches in the Money in the Bank briefcase on the Intercontinental title, being that Sami Zayn said, enough is enough. You're not getting any more opportunities there. Did WWE change the rules? I don't know. Yes, we did get Theory cashing in for the United States Championship, but a lot of people shit on that decision.
Because it was awful. It was pathetic. You made Austin Theory look stupid. Casting in for a lesser title. Now we all knew. Now granted, he wasn't gonna cast in on Roman Reigns. He wasn't the guy to beat Roman Reigns. But he cast in for a lesser title and he still lost. And it was on a night when Seth Rollins had an open challenge. Comes out, he gets his ass beat by Bobby Lashley, and he loses. And Austin Theory was buried. There was no comeback from that. Now, granted, Triple H did that to change the character, but man, there's no comeback from that. You cast in for a lesser title and lose the way you did, the guy buried. And Austin Theory still has not recovered since that happened. Even that's your Austin Theory. Besides being in this pretty good team with him and Grayson Waller.
A lot of people did not like the creative direction for that. That was a little ridiculous. Honestly, that was only done to get the title off of Austin Theory because it was nothing more than a fucking anchor holding him down. That's the only reason why they did that.
They had to bite the bullet on that one, and they had to fucking swallow that one as a huge mistake, because that was a Vince McMahon move to even give him the briefcase.
Exactly.
They had no plans to do anything with him.
Exactly. It was a Vince decision. Austin Theory won it because it was a Vince decision. He wasn't ready for the break. He didn't do shit to earn it. He was handed the opportunity. He was added in that ladder match at the very last second. Didn't do shit in the match. Unhooked the briefcase. Now we're supposed to believe the guy gonna be the world champion. The guy was losing every week. He was like a joke. Until Triple H took control of creative, tried to change the character, change the booking around him, make him win some matches, take him more seriously. And he wanted the briefcase was home. So they have him cast in the way he did, have him lose to reinvent the character, try to change him up a little bit, take him more seriously. But they tried. But after a few months, it didn't work. Austin Theory was pretty much an afterthought.
And that needed to be changed. But the WWE somehow changed the rules here. It's going to be interesting, man. Maybe it's time we start thinking about any title. The Money in the Bank could be global. The Money in the Bank could be universal. I want an Intercontinental Championship. I'm cashing in on that one. Maybe it's time we change the rules, because WWE, the way that we're going right now, you got to look into the future. Cody, right now, is the world champion. He ain't losing shit.
Exactly.
WWE's not taking that title off of him until at least WrestleMania. Maybe, depending on who he wrestles. Rumor is he's wrestling The Rock. I don't see him dropping the title to Dwayne. Cody's going to be the champion for a full year. But on the other side, you got to think about what's happening at SummerSlam. Gunther's going to be your world champion. Gunther ain't losing that title anytime soon.
Exactly.
But his IC title run was long.
Exactly. That's the problem. Whoever wins Money in the Bank, it's not gonna have a successful casting, and you ain't having no long reign. And if they do cast in, it's gonna be a transitional thing, not gonna be a long reign, because no one believes that you're gonna be the guy to carry the show. I'm afraid that whoever wins Money in the Bank is gonna fail the casting, because Cody Rhodes ain't losing. Cody Rhodes is your guy, your babyface on SmackDown. He ain't losing until next year. We'll see Cody Rhodes next year at WrestleMania walking as champion. And some people say, oh, we're gonna face The Rock. The Rock ain't beating Cody Rhodes for the title. And that should not be that shouldn't even be the main event. I don't want to see that. Now look at Monday Night Raw. Damian Priest is your champion. Gunther's gonna win that title at SummerSlam. Gunther is not losing that championship. He's gonna have a long title reign, probably for like over a year. Look how long his IC title reign was. It's just like hit that reign was like 2 years. How long he gonna be champion when he wins the World Heavyweight title? Gonna be very long. Now the heel's not losing. Maybe Cody Rhodes, since he's the babyface, he may get screwed over, because they always screw over the babyface, and that's the only adversity for most of the babyfaces here. It happened to Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. It could happen to Cody Rhodes, but who the fuck can win Money in the Bank? That's what I want to know. Who on SmackDown can win Money in the Bank? And if they do win it, it will be a transitional thing.
Wait till Triple H gets a fucking world title on. So maybe WWE changed the rules, and we don't know about it. Because if they did, it certainly opens them up to be a little bit more free creatively.
So that means you'll have 4 choices. So you win Money in the Bank, you may not have 2 choices, like the 2 world titles. It may be the other 2 mid-card titles. So that's like 4 choices. The World Heavyweight title, the WWE title, now the Intercontinental title, and the United States title. That could be. I mean, it does give more choices instead of 2. Now there's gonna be 4. But I still don't want to see it. It's kind of divided Money in the Bank. Unless they change the rule, we'll have to wait and see.
It's not such a bad idea when you actually put it into words. WWE is not beating their current champions and the champions soon to be. So no matter who wins, Braun Breaker, LA Knight, Chad Gable, Carmelo, these guys are not world champions immediately in the next 12 months. They're not. So the WWE opened the pool to more championships being in consideration for the Money in the Bank cash. One has to wonder. One has to wonder. So we're getting that triple threat match next week. Logan, Santos, and LA Knight. So he'll beat him next week and he'll win Money in the Bank and then beat him again. Santos Escobar interrupted, walked out. LA Knight said, well, I didn't ask for him. I didn't ask for you, I asked for Logan. Escobar says, listen, I don't need an invitation. So LA Knight must be delusional. You're chasing like a desperate Chicago fanboy. It's embarrassing. He said next week he'll be dealing with him in the ring, so it would be wise to remember that. LA Knight sarcastically said, he's clearly a fan favorite. Nobody gave a shit about Santos Escobar here. He said every time he's had to beat him, he has. So I'm looking past you and looking at LA. Escobar attacked LA Knight. LA Knight came back and gave him a BFT. All of a sudden, Logan Paul jumped LA Knight from behind. He was in attendance tonight. And then Logan saddled up. He launched a right hand with that loaded fist. And punched LA Knight right in the face with his titanium reinforced right hand, right in the jaw. Knocked him out. Logan yelled at LA Knight, knocked out. I think Logan Paul wins next week's match, which would give LA Knight and his fan base reason to complain. But like I said, I think LA Knight and everybody else that ends up losing is going to get a last chance qualifier. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We don't know. Maybe we don't get a last chance qualifier. But LA Knight and Logan Paul are in the Money in the Bank qualifying match together. I like the fact that they are including them in this together to give us a taste, to give us a tease, not give us a full-fledged match with a fuck finish, which leads to the second match. All we need is one and done. That's all we need. I think WWE playing this card is a lot better than getting two matches out of this. Everybody was wondering, how are they going to get this to SummerSlam? Clearly, this is the way. They're going to be in the Money in the Bank qualifier together. One of them is going to advance, the other is not. Someone will probably show up and screw the other out of the Money in the Bank ladder match. And then boom, SummerSlam on the horizon. It's a very simple concept. It's a very simple concept. That's it. That is if they don't do the last chance qualifier. Which I don't think they do. I keep saying last chance. I don't think that they do. But they've done it in years prior. But that's the way we are going here. And that's the way we're going to get Logan Paul and LA Knight through Money in the Bank and on to SummerSlam for the United States Championship. One of them will qualify. Logan Paul, I think, is going to be in the ladder match. LA Knight is going to be the recipient of the United States Championship. He's going to win the United States title at SummerSlam when he does wrestle Logan Paul. So I can see Logan in that match.
Well, Triple H did say that Triple H did say they have decided to change the rules of Money in the Bank. It means that you're allowed to cash in. Everyone's saying that it devalued Money in the Bank is throwing out content. And look at the offer theory. People in the middle of the
Or maybe something happens where Logan pins LA Knight. Some fuckery happens. Maybe one of his entourage is there. Maybe he cheats with the loaded right hand. Maybe he uses the brass knuckles. You know. Oh yeah, Santos Escobar more than likely their team. Kevin Owens, Andrade, and Grayson Waller. Men's Money in the Bank qualified. This was very good. This was probably the best match of the entire night. Andrade advances to Money in the Bank, and he's in the ladder match. Good for him. Good for him.
Finally, something that he can sink his teeth into.
Yeah, yeah.
Andrade has not had a good run since coming back to the WWE. This is very well known to everybody. He's had nothing. Triple H, for all the good that he does, he's dropped the ball tremendously on Andrade. And I don't really understand why. I don't understand how difficult it is for either company to book one of the best in-ring workers that they got.
Andrade been best since January.
He's in the Money in the Bank. He's going to be a great addition to that match. He's been in a match like that.
Andrade not
We know he's going to bring.
Well, hey,
Well,
most people
when it's
fucking
not,
late.
he's
This
not
is
gonna
fucking best.
But I'm glad that he's there. Owen's knee was the story that added hell out of Grayson. They're battling up the second row. But I do think still that The Rock is pulling the strings. And did a Uso splash from the top rope all the way through the commentary table on his first. Know who needs to win. And it's not Charlotte Flair. But I can absolutely see that being the direction going to WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre was screwed out of the. Paul Heyman backed away. Roman Reigns got back. At that point, Solo interrupted Paul Heyman. He said, "Wise man, I hate to be the one to tell you because I love you. But Roman, he's not coming back." Paul Heyman backed away, put his hand over his mouth. His eyes were getting watery with some salty discharge. Heyman's jaw dropped. Solo turned to leave and head to the ring. Heyman then said, "How could that be?" Solo told him Roman is not coming back. Little did we know. We didn't know what the fuck he meant by that. Corey Graves even asked, "What does that mean?" What does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Solo and Cody Rhodes, bell rings. This match goes to a no contest. Or Cody wins by disqualification. Whichever you want to go. Cody made his entrance until its conclusion. What are we, Tony Khan now? He shows up in the ring and gave Owens a Samoan drop on top rope. Holy shit broke out. Solo Sikoa hugged Fatu, and both guys raised their fingers. Tangaloa and Tamatonga returned to the ring. They did the same, and the four Bloodline members posed with their fingers in the air to end the show. WWE recently trademarked Caesar Sikoa. That's what they trademarked for Solo. Now, I don't know what that means or what that is going to entail. I mean, I don't know who wants to beat Caesar. Caesar doesn't really end up in a good way in the story that was told about Julius Caesar. But Jacob Fatu is with the WWE, and he looks incredible. He looks fucking phenomenal. A slimmed down, even more menacing, even more brutal and violent Samoan werewolf has debuted with the WWE. And none of you are ready for what is to come. This is fucking great. We didn't know how he was going to do. We didn't know in which manner he was going. Start him off in NXT. WWE made the right move to finally debut. WWE, the fear with them was if they put him alongside Solo in the new bloodline, he is automatically going to take center stage. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be spotlighted. He's going to steal all that spotlight away from Solo. That very well could. This guy is 200 and something. Solo was going to have his spotlight taken away because that's how great Jacob Fatu is. So they're going to go out there and get Hikuleo. They just trademarked 2 names for Hikuleo coming over from New Japan. Tola Tonga. The new bloodline versus the OG bloodline with Jacob Fatu and Roman leading the charge. I don't know where the fuck we're going now. By the time Roman gets back, this bloodline's going to be fucking. This is going to be their show. It is already their show. Roman's going to get Jay back. Roman's going to get Jimmy back. Are we going to see Cody fight alongside Roman? Is that what we're building up to? We're going to see Cody Rhodes fighting alongside Roman Reigns? It's a very interesting aspect. Once rivals for 2 years. The guy who ended the reign is now teaming up to save WWE from this rebel bloodline. I still think The Rock is in charge of this. I still think The Rock is pulling the strings here. Come to find out when Roman gets involved, that when the bloodline is staring him in the face, Rock is going to be the one pulling the strings. Don't know where we're going with any of this, but Jacob Fatu back on television for WWE for the first time ever. He works House of Glory, he works MLW, he works Independence. Back on television with a nationally televised promotion. At JD from N1206 Twitter.
Well, I will end the video. Just gonna show this real quick.
Ladies and
Alright. Climbing continues.
Tropical smoothie.
for a cleaner, more sustainable.
God damn these damn commercials. Hold on a second.
Up until the last few months, how often did we see Mia Yim consistently on television, right?
My God.
Well, now this is what we saw on Smackdown. Now this is what we saw on Smackdown. Well, I might well just end the video here. If you guys want to see more, hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. This is Jacob Cast 2024. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. I made this video long enough. Alright. I'll see y'all later. About to end the video. I will do Monday Night Raw next week. Alright. I guess yeah, I didn't think I'll stop the video like wait.